How to assign permanent drive letters to removable USB hard drives. I have scripts that expect specific drive letters for hard drives. Windows sometimes assigns the different drive letters. For example, I expected my master drive to be E, but it's now F. Therefore my scripts will fail, depending on the order of how the drives are plugged into my laptop. In Windows 7, how do I assign a permanent drive letter to a drive?
You can do this in computer management without external tools. The interface is slightly different in Windows 7, but the location is the same. Start and GT, type component.msc, and press Enter and GT, Storage and GT, Disk Management. Or press Win plus X and then press K to choose Disk Management.
The USB Drive Letter Manager for Windows is your friend. USB is a Windows service that gives control over Windows drive letter assignment for USB drives. Running a service makes it independent of the logged-on user's privileges, so there is no need to give the users the privilege to change drive letters. It automatically solves conflicts between USB drives and network or subs drives of the currently logged-on user. Furthermore, you can define new default letters for USB drives and much more. Some key features. Check if the letter is used by a network share of the currently logged-on user and assign the next letter that is really available. Reserve letters, so they are not used for local drives. Assign a letter from a list of new default letters, also dependent on many different criteria as the active user, drive type, connection, USB, FireWire, USB port, volume label, size and others. Assign letters for a specific USB drive by putting an INI file on the drive. Remove the drive letters of card readers until a card is inserted. Show a balloon tip of the assigned drive letters. Define auto-run events depending on many different criteria.
Drive letters get forgotten when you assign a new drive to that letter. If you want multiple drives, for example, backup drives, to have the same remembered letter, it is a pain, but there is a non-randomware way. I felt the need to post this after scouring the internet trying to find a solution for multiple drives that I wanted to rotate out, all retaining the same drive letter for my scripting joy. Sometimes whateverware, USB, just isn't a good enough solution for your domain controllers, sensitive kiosks, etc., so we will do this the hard way. If you don't have a lot of data or are starting from scratch, the easiest way is to disk clone the device with the assigned letter to other devices using Clonezilla. But if you already have data on drives and can't backup/restore that data, or don't want to, or just like the hard way, it appears to be associated with the volume GID, so you'll need to find a way to modify that on your existing volume so that they all match and then do some testing. I did it the Clonezilla way. I haven't tried, but imagine a partition clone would also work. What I can verify for you is that it does not come from the disk ID, so modifying this via disk part is not helpful, and that you can get volume guides using PowerShell. Hopefully somebody smarter than me can figure out how to change or specify volume GID and test it out, or at least determine if this is indeed where the reg value comes from, so we can dynamically do this without cloning entire drives. How it works. When you assign a drive letter to a drive, Windows stores this in the registry under the key hklm/system/mounted devices. You can observe that when you assign a new drive the X letter, for example, the data portion for the reg_binary, /dos devices /x, in this case, is overwritten with the new drive, and you can't have multiple entries with different values, so the next time you plug in that old drive it won't be X anymore. If you look at the reg_binary value itself, it starts with mioid followed by a gid, which actually stems from the disk unique id. I don't actually understand the relation/translation into the binary reg_vla except to say that it comes from the disk's unique id. I only say this to illustrate that we don't need to worry about volume guides here, because the lettering all stems from the drive's unique id. This may not be the case on MBR/basic disks. I'm only working with GPT dynamic disks here, and you probably are too. Further reading/stuff I found. Partitions and volumes. This URL. Volumes, guides and other things in mounted devices. This URL.
If you want to support the channel,